Sinatra always knew Belmont takes you back on top in June, and we welcome you back to the 142nd Belmont Stakes presented by Chase Sapphire. We have a good field of 12. We have jockeys living the newfound American dream, trainers looking to add to their Hall of Fame plaque, and one who's trying to do what no woman has ever done before. As for the top contenders, well, Icebox is the anointed favorite, and many felt Bob LaPenta's colt was the best horse at the Derby, but his traffic-filled trip left him running second there. Let's look at the current odds, and since this morning, Randy Moss, when those betting windows opened, we saw Icebox bet down. Here's the first four. Uptown Charlie Brown getting support.
Uptown Charlie Brown began at odds of 10-1, down just a tick to 9-1. Make Music for Me from 10 to 11-1, so he's pretty much stayed status quo. Fly Down began at 9-2. He's now 6. Icebox was, as you said, was 3-1. He's the 9-5 favorite. Drosselmeyer at 12. Game On Dude 16. The rest of the field looks like this. Stately Victor started at 15. Now he's 13. Stay Put at 26. First Dude has gone up from 7-2 to 6. Interactive up from 12 to 20-1.
Here's one of the great scenes of the pageantry of horse racing. The jock's photo before an American classic. A moment that they cherish so much. Jay Pribman.
Well, Joe, Garrett Gomez has not really had a triple crown. For him, this has been the triple frown. He was looking at Lucky in the Kentucky Derby. He was favored in that race. He had a horrible trip, so much so that he got bounced from that horse for the Preakness and was replaced by Martin Garcia, who rode Looking at Lucky to the victory, while Gomez ended up on Dublin, who finished 5th as the 4th choice in the race. And today he ends up on Spangled Star, who is one of the long shots in this race. Just a real unbelievable turn of events for a 2-time champion jockey during this year's Triple Crown.
Indeed, Garrett Gomez could have won the Preakness if he had kept them out instead. Now he's on Spangled Star at 21-1. What about the track conditions? Caton?
Well, Joe, the track superintendent has upped the water ante, more than 10,000 gallons, about 12,000 gallons or more being put on the track over the last couple of races, and it's not necessarily helping. Kieran McLaughlin expressed just a little bit of concern about the condition of the track when I spoke to him just a little while ago. And one other note, a good Belmont horse can come in any shape and size. Take a look at Make Music for Me, one of the smaller horses in the field. The gate will be equipped with bumper pads or quarter pads on either side to snug up against the petite horse and make him feel more comfortable when he's in the starting gate. Joe?
He's the number 4, the little guy, Make Music for Me. Hey, the time has come, Kenny and Hank. Let's hear your selections.
Yeah, I can't duck it now, Joe. The riders have come in. Electricity in this paddock area. Hammer, America, wait your pick. How are you going to play this thing?
2 dudes and the Fly Down.
Explain.
Well, First Dude is going to be the controlling pace in the race. And he's coming off a spectacular performance in the Preakness. He's going to be on the lead, but he doesn't have, or he figures to be, but doesn't have to be. He'll be up close. He's going to be in the right spot. Now, Fly Down has a win over this racetrack, and he has what Randy referred to as eye-catching acceleration, and that is an apt description. He really took that race over. I love the way he took to this racetrack.
How do you get the other dude in? Game On Dude, that's Bob Baffert's horse.
Since Baffert took this horse over right after the Florida Derby, he's done nothing but improve. You heard what Bob Baffert said to us earlier, which was he had to teach the horse how to race, which was basically how to come out of the gate. So he's my price horse at 16 or 17-1. I like the 5'11" exacta box. First Dude, I'm going to box the 2 dudes with Fly Down, and I'll throw in Icebox for a superfecta box.
You know, Joe, one last note here. For those who liked an outsider coming in, Uptown Charlie Brown, both the name and the deserved sentiment regarding that horse have kept that at 11-1 when a lot of us thought we might get that animal at 20-1.
Yeah, many thought that the price would be much better on Uptown Charlie Brown, but he's getting a lot of support. That fabulous story we told you about of the 59 owners and racing in the memory of the late Alan Sewald. And there is Garrett Gomez on Spangled Star, trained by Rick Dutrow, who 2 years ago brought Big Brown to the Belmont. Everybody thought Big Brown was going to win the Triple Crown, but his hopes melted away right near our set here on the turn to the stretch. What a beautiful, glorious, sun-kissed afternoon here. Look at the glisten in the paddock. Janine?
Yeah, I'm here with co-owner Jack Conway, and it's been a memorable few weeks for Conway. He's co-owner of Stately Victor, who gave you your first Kentucky Derby starter as a Kentucky native. Yeah. And he just won the Democratic primary for U.S. Senate seat in the state of Kentucky. So tell me, what was your most vivid memory? What do you keep going back to from that Derby Day experience?
It's the walkover, that hour and a half I spent going to the stall with my father, who made me memorize every Kentucky Derby winner growing up, walking over with that horse and feeling the hair stand up on the back of my neck for about an hour. It was just remarkable. To do it with your dad and have a horse named after your deceased best friend, how special. Yeah, how special.
Very, very special. You just spoke with your jockey, Alan Garcia. What's the strategy?
First of all, keep him cool. It's very hot out here. We kept him cool with some water. Big, long striding horse, one clear run. It's Belmont, so don't move too early. Be there at the end.
Good luck to you. And just so you know, Sarah Palin's on the other side of the paddock. You might want to go say hello.
We'll say hello. We're here in the paddock today, but we're on opposite sides. But I look forward to saying hi.
Okay, thank you, Jack.
So both sides cover. You have the U.S. Senate candidate for the Democrats, Jack Conway, and Sarah Palin, who is here to see First Dude, the number 11, a horse named after her husband, Todd, who she referred to as the first dude of Alaska. There's the equine First Dude. As we get close to the call to the posts with buglers Ryan Reske and Sam Grossman. This year's Derby and Preakness had 6 different horses finish first, second, and third. If Icebox and First Dude are not in the money today, if they don't finish first, second, third, it would be the first time since 1926 that 9 different horses finished in the money in all 3 classic races. That is how wide open and unpredictable this Triple Crown season has been.
We commented before the Kentucky Derby that the quality at the very top of the list of 3-year-olds this year after the injury to Escondrea was somewhat lacking, and I think that statistic points out that exactly.
The post parade at the Belmont Stakes, every race has this in common, thousands of times a year, but this is where it all started. The first post parade was in the Belmont Stakes in 1880. Prior to that 14th running there in 1880, the jockeys would just take their horses and go straight to the starting gate. But the post parade, of course, has become a wonderful tradition and commonplace in races all over the world. And today it leads off with the Derby winning jockey Calvin Burrell aboard Dave and Dixie. He is owned by Ike and Dawn Thrash. They're heavily involved in real estate in Mississippi. Won his debut last summer. Has been put in against tough competition. Hasn't won since.
Number 2 is Spangled Star, trained by Rick Dutrow, whose first Belmont Stakes horse was a heavy favorite, Big Brown. Of course, he was pulled up in the Belmont stretch a couple of years ago. Now he's back with Spangled Star at the other end of the odds spectrum, 21-1.
The 3 we've documented well the story of Uptown Charlie Brown. You know all about the memory of his late trainer, Alan Seawald. As for his new trainer, Karen McLaughlin, he has multiple sclerosis. He combats it daily, but he's had great success. Won this race in 2006, and the 59 owners, they wait to see what happens.
Number 4, the small horse, Make Music for Me. We've talked about Alexis Barba, who would be the first female trainer to win a Triple Crown race. Jockey 22-year-old Joel Rosario is the youngest rider in the Belmont field. He was 4th in the Kentucky Derby.
Nick Zito's fly down. He traveled down the New York State Thruway from Saratoga this past Wednesday. He does so reuniting with jockey Johnny Velasquez. Johnny V rode him in his career debut last October. Since then, Fly Down has come a long way. He has emerged as the it horse here at Belmont over the last 4 weeks.
And right next to Fly Down in the gate will be Zito's other horse, Icebox, the favorite. Zito looking for his 3rd Belmont win. Icebox a troubled 2nd in the Kentucky Derby, but many thought he would have won with a clean trip.
The 7 is Drosselmeyer. He has those familiar silks, Windstar Farm. They won the Derby. Drosselmeyer, the name of the avuncular character in the Nutcracker. Bill Mott trained the colt, the highest purchase price among this field. They paid $600 grand for him as a yearling.
Number 8, Game On Do, trained by Bob Baffert, ridden by Martin Garcia. They teamed up to win the Preakness with Looking at Lucky. Baffert passed the Belmont with Lucky, but now he's tabbed his new favorite jockey to ride this long shot Lone Star Derby.
The 9, Stately Victor, hoping to get back to his pre-Derby form. That's when he pulled off a huge upset in the Bluegrass Stakes. Mike Maker trains him, a 9-time starter. He's big in size. He was big on the tote board, too. He paid over $80 when he won the Bluegrass.
Speaking of big on the tote board, here's the longest shot on the board right now at 25-1. Stay Put, a winner on Kentucky Derby Day, but not in the Derby. He won race 1 on the card at Churchill Downs, an allowance race. Before that, 5th in the Louisiana Derby, and there is jockey Jamie Theriault.
And there's the long striding First Dude, number 11, owned by Donald Disney. The Venezuelan native Ramon Dominguez is one of the best jocks in the nation, yet seems to miss out on a lot of attention. He's leading the nation in wins this year.
And on the far outside, post 12, which is a disadvantage in this race, Interactif, trained by Todd Pletcher, who of course won his first Kentucky Derby this year with Super Sail.
Ramon Dominguez, your horse looks like he's feeling pretty good right now. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
How's your emotions right now in the 5 or 6 minutes left before the race?
Well, I'm feeling great. I'm very cool, and my horse feeling great warming up. I'm just
Ramon, on First Dude, what is your mindset going into the first turn and early in the race?
I'm sorry, what is my what? I'm sorry.
What will you be thinking when the gates open? Where do you want to be early on?
Well, ideally, I would love to be in front, but we'll see. If I'm not concerned about the pace. You know, I just want to be able to go on there. Legit fractions. I don't want to really be going too fast as is understandable. So, but ideally, I would like to be in front. We'll see. We don't have to be. So, either way, I would like to be on the clear.
All right. If you're not in front, are you okay laying off the pace?
Sorry, Jerry. I missed you there.
If you're not in front, are you okay laying off the pace?
I'm okay laying off the pace, and ideally, I want to be on the clear.
Thank you, Ramon. Good luck.
Well, most expect First Dude to be out in front. He went to the lead and held on gamely for second in the Preakness. Caton.
With Rajiv Mirage, Rajiv Kiran had expressed some concerns about the depth of the racetrack. How does Uptown Charlie Brown feel warming up to you?
Well, he's really on his toes, and he's a little eager, so he's feeling really good.
Looks like you're feeling pretty good, too, as he's warming up. In terms of instructions, what's the game plan?
Well, there's not too much instruction. Just try to get a good position early and try to get him in a nice spot where he's happy, put a smile on his face, and hopefully he'll finish from there.
All right, safe trip. Joe?
And well, those going to the betting windows think that Nick Zito could pull it off today. He has the number 5, and he has the favorite, the number 6, Icebox, right now at 9-5. We are just moments away from the Belmont. The wide expanse of beautiful Belmont Park. And there is the starting gate. 1 lap around the largest track in North America. 1.5 miles. The only time these 3-year-olds are asked to do this. Nick Zito, he's done it before. He's won the Belmont 2 times. He pulled a shocker over Big Brown with Tatara in 2008. Can he now do it with a favorite? Fly down there in the front of your screen with Johnny Velasquez. That's the Zito horse that impressively won the Dwyer by 6 lengths. Let's go down to the track to Caton.
Joe, the horses got a little stirred up with the music and the reaction of the crowd. The 4 Make Music for me has gotten increasingly hot. It's just not acting up too badly now that everything has calmed down a little bit, but he is very warm.
Well, it is a hot day and a huge crowd that just erupted at the conclusion of Jasmine Villegas' Empire State of Mind. There's Todd Pletcher. Remember, he did not want to watch the Kentucky Derby out in the public. He had to get that monkey off his back. Now he's front and center for the Belmont with Interactif, who's 19-1, the number 12.
Entertaining to hear that one of the horses that got the most rattled by the song was named Make Music for Me. As you could look at Bob Baffert there. When you talk about the pace of this race, it means so much to Nick Zito's horses, to Icebox and Fly Down. And Jerry, maybe I'm in the minority, but I think Baffert's horse, Game On Dude, could actually put some heat on First Dude. I think Uptown Charlie Brown could as well, maybe even Interactif. I don't think the pace is going to be quite as easy as a lot of people do.
Those horses along with Spangled Star, if he so chooses. If anybody really wants to press in the Belmont Stakes, they can.
There are some of the 59 owners representing Uptown Charlie Brown. Folks paid $800, $1,200, $3,000. They got in and they own a horse that's about to race in the Belmont Stakes in the memory of Alan Seawald. There is Uptown as they begin to load here. Game on, dude. Baffert's horse heads in, and let's listen in as Tom Durkin will have the call of the test of the champion, the Great American Classic, the Belmont Stakes.
The field loading into the gate for the 142nd Belmont, and there is Nick Zito's Fly Down, who moves into post position number 5 with Johnny Velasquez aboard, and right next to him will be another Nick Zito trainee who is the favorite in this Belmont. Number 6, Icebox. He strides into the starting gate, and the tote board reads 9-5 for him. He's a little anxious to get in there. And then in post position number 11, there is the prodigious First Dude, who goes in post number 11. And completing this field of 12 will be Interactive. They are in the gate. We are ready to go in the Belmont Stakes. And they're off. Interactive on the far outside. Spangled Star is there. First Dude has some speed, so does Game On Dude. So they make their way to that sweeping clubhouse turn here at Belmont Park. And it's First Dude who's first into the turn. Uptown Charlie Brown is up close to the pace today. And Interactive is too. He's right there running in third. Game On Dude is fourth on the outside, and Fly Down now runs in fifth position. Drosselmeyer is sixth on the outside. Then Spangled Star is back running in seventh. A break of 3 back to Stately Victor eighth. And Icebox is now ninth, and he's already about 11 lengths from the lead. And at the back of the pack now are Stay Put, Dave and Dixie, and Make Music for Me. They are 10th, 11th, and 12th as First Dude takes the field into the backstretch run. First Dude leads it by a length, being pushed along here by Interactive. The opening half mile was reasonable, 49 seconds flat. So First Dude settles into that powerful stride of his. He's out there stretching those long legs. He's now in front by a length and 3/4. Interactive is second. Game On Dude on the outside is running along in third. Uptown Charlie Brown is rating beautifully so far. He's fourth toward the inside. Drosselmeyer is fifth. Fly Down is 6, 5.5 lengths from the lead. Then it's a break of 2.5 to Spangled Star, followed by Icebox. Icebox has gotten a bit closer. He's now about 8 lengths from the lead after a 3/4 mark of 1:14 and 4. Farther back in the field, our Stay Put, Stately Victor, who's still unhurried with 5 furlongs to go. Make Music for Me. Dave and Dixie has dropped off to trail the field. Furlong after power for furlong, it's First Dude. First Dude leads. Interactive is second. Game On Dude is third with a half mile to go here. Uptown Charlie Brown, he's now being asked to pick it up. Drosselmeyer is fifth. He's only 3 from the lead. Then Fly Down. Time ticking away for Icebox. He's still got a lot to do and only 3 furlongs to do it. He's now been passed by Stay Put. And now the field comes to the top of the stretch. First Dude, Game On Dude, and Interactive. They're across the track together. Uptown Charlie Brown is down toward the rail. Drosselmeyer comes up on the far outside at the top of the stretch. First Dude, Game On Dude. They're head-to-head for the lead. Drosselmeyer trying to wear them down from the far outside. Uptown Charlie Brown and Fly Down to the finish. First down is Deputy on the outside here. Here at the wire, Drosselmeyer, who gets First Dude in the shadow of the wire. Drosselmeyer, an upset winner. Fly Down and First Dude.
Jockey Mike Smith replaced Kent DeSormo, last year's Belmont winning jockey on Drosselmeyer. He was 0 for 12 in the Belmont. He finished second all the way back in 1990. And now Bill Mott and Windstar Farm, the group that won the Derby, they come back and win it. They bookend the Triple Crown with the Belmont.
Drosselmeyer going into the first turn was tracking Fly Down. I thought he would be in front of him. He tracked him down the backside, and on the far turn, Mike Smith let him creep into the race. He actually went by Fly Down, and then Fly Down came back at him in the stretch. Stamina is what Drosselmeyer has in his corner.
At one point, Early this year, WinStar Farm thought that Drosselmeyer was actually a better horse than Super Saver, but Drosselmeyer couldn't make the Derby field because he lacked sufficient graded earnings. He was disappointing when he ran in the Dwyer, when he was beaten so badly by Fly Down, but not today. Boy, jockey changes are all the rage in the Triple Crown. In the Preakness, of course, you've got Martin Garcia replacing Gomez, and now Mike Smith. Look at him.
And look at how much this means to the veteran Mike Smith. Mike Smith, who was the star of last year's Breeders' Cup Classic, now comes back to New York, where he stamped himself early on in his career, and finally, Jerry takes the Belmont.
Mike Smith is a workout freak. He's one of the fittest jockeys that I think there is in the United States. But I'm telling you, I saw him ride this horse all the way around there. Mike, do you have any air left?
Oh, Jerry, I thought I was fit. No, I'm out of air, buddy. He's just his one pace, you know, and you just got to keep pedaling. But you know what? He just keeps trying. What a heart, Jerry. What a heart.
It looked to me like you were tracking Fly Down around the first turn. When did you decide to go by him?
Well, I was trying to keep him covered up around this first turn. He's a bit keen. But then I wanted just to get him in a steady pace. So I got him out in the clear down the backside. He just kept grinding him down, Jerry. I want to say this one to my mother. And me and Richard Migliore always dreamed of winning this race. But this one for you, Mig.
How do you feel, Mike? What are your emotions right now? What does this mean to you?
Well, Jerry, you know better than anybody. I've ridden here most of my career. I still consider this home. You know, the one race that it's eluded me, not only the Triple Crown, but of all my career, all the great ones I won here, to finally win this one, man. Unbelievable.
And what a
I gotta
class
thank
move.
Billy Mott. He did a tremendous job with this horse. He told me exactly how to ride him, and it worked out.
And by the way, you just gave Bill Mott his first ever Triple Crown win. A Hall of Fame career, but he's never had a Triple Crown race
He deserves many
win.
of them, I'll tell you that.
And what a class move by Mike Smith to dedicate the win to Richard Migliore, the MIG, who retired due to a neck injury this week and was an all-time favorite here in New York.
You saw Elliott Walden just then, the racing manager for WinStar, hugging Bill Mott, welcoming Mott into the fraternity of Belmont winning trainers. Elliott Walden saddled Victory Gallop to defeat Real Quiet and Kit DeSormo in the 1998 Belmont Stakes. Bill Mott, as Jerry Bailey knows so well, who rode for him so often on Cigar and other horses, one of the best trainers in the world. So this is poetic justice that he gets his Triple Crown win.
Well, Nick Zito had the favorite, but Icebox couldn't get it done. Steve Cyphers.
Nick, how do you explain this race today?
Well, obviously disappointed in Icebox. That pulpit came out of him today. He was a little bit apprehensive, today. He was ready to go last couple of days, and I guess he just left his race somewhere. He certainly didn't run, that's for sure. But disappointed. We'll try to regroup and see what happens. Happy with, obviously Fly Down ran great, but disappointed with Icebox. He's much better than that.
Terrific. Thank you very much. Up to Janine.
Well, I'm with winning trainer Bill Mott. You were eager to run this horse beyond 1 1/8. What was he showing you in his races?
Well, he always keeps coming. I mean, he's been close going 1 1/8, and he's had some trips where he just hasn't had the golden trip, and he got a nice smooth trip today, and he was able to kind of circle his horses and keep his momentum going, keep running. So
at what point did you start feeling confident?
Well, I did. I waited till they got to the wire.
Just to be sure.
It was nice to see him moving, leaving the 3/8 pole. I'd asked Mike to try to, if he could be in the race at the quarter pole, and I figured from that point on, not many horses are going to be making a run at him. So.
And 2 Triple Crown race wins for WinStar Farm.
That's great for the farm,
And great for you. Congratulations, Bill.
Drosselmeyer unofficially on top of Fly Down coming second, and then First Dude, who went out there with very, a moderate pace, a slow pace for First Dude, but couldn't hold on third unofficially, and then Game On Dude in fourth.
Now remember, much of the conversation this week surrounding Drosselmeyer had been about the bar shoes that he was wearing on his feet, his tender feet that are so easily bruised, and a lot of people were thinking that was an indication Drosselmeyer was not 100%. But Bill Mott said that they were mainly preventative, the bar shoes. They were taken off. But I think that threw a lot of people off.
It did, and that with the fact that it was reported that Bill and Susan Kasner, part owner of WinStar Farms, weren't attending this race today. Exactly. And if you connect to the docs and were a conspiracy theory type person, you'd say, hey, something's wrong. But Billy is very smart about stopping things before they start, and I think this is a typical example of that.
And those WinStar Farm silks, The white silks with the star. Todd Pletcher saw those silks come across the Kentucky Derby finish line for him on Super Sabre. He had Interactif today. But now WinStar Farm, which is the racing operation owned by Bill Kastner and Kenny Trout. They are a remarkable story, how they have gone into this business and dominated in recent years. The Kastners lost their daughter Carrie to the 2002 terrorist attacks in Bali. She was killed overseas. They dedicated a horse's name in her memory to a serviceman who helped them during that time. That was Colonel John, who had a great run. And now Drosselmeyer and Super Sabre take 2/3 of this year's Triple Crown for WinStar.
There is Elliott Walden on the right. Again, the racing manager for Bill Kastner, for Kenny Trout, for the entire WinStar team. What a job he has done in helping piece this whole thing together. Doug Coffin, also an executive there at WinStar. The brother of Steve Coffin, of course, the jockey of the last Triple Crown winner, Affirmed.
Jerry, look at the coat on Drosselmeyer. He is just gorgeous. You know, when I talked to Jay Pridman earlier this week when he was at the barns the first day I got here, I said, who was eye-catching? He said, I've got a beautiful, shiny copper penny for you. His name is Drosselmeyer. Good coat, horse looks good, good shape. Proved it today.
He's with an excellent trainer in Belmont, and this is a horse that I've been wanting to like all spring, but the light just never seemed to come on. Even though he had a little bit of trouble in the Dwyer, he wasn't going to beat Fly Down that day no matter what happened. But that's what, when you go a mile and a half, it's not about so much ability, it's about stamina, it's about heart.
Yeah, we make so much about jockey changes. I mean, the fact is, in the Preakness Stakes, Garrett Gomez could have ridden Looking at Lucky to victory. In the Belmont Stakes today, Kent DeSormo could have ridden Drosselmeyer to victory, but Mike Smith certainly did a more than capable job, and well deserving that he and Mott at the same time both get their first Belmont wins.
So the blanket of white carnations is draped over Drosselmeyer, and the smile on Mike Smith that's going to light up this New York evening here on a beautiful day on Long Island. He returns $28. The Belmont does it again. I mean, this is a cash cow of a race in recent years. The exacta of 7.5 returns $144 on a $2 exacta. The try with First Dude underneath brings back $766. As Randy, we take a look at the full order of finish, and obviously the disappointment was Icebox, the favorite for Zito.
Icebox finishing sixth. He crept up a little bit on the backstretch, but the pace certainly did him no favors. The first 6 furlongs in 1:14.94. That was perfect for First Dude, but not so much for the horses way back in the pack.
Ramon Dominguez obviously doing everything and giving First Dude every chance to win, riding a very smart race. It just wasn't good enough to go this far.
We have much more from the 142nd Belmont Stakes when we return. A superb performance by Drosselmeyer and Mike Smith up winning Belmont number 142. The presentation in the winner's circle when we return to the Big Apple. This is how it all began as they broke from the gate in front of that massive grandstand and clubhouse here at Belmont. And First Dude would go out in front but could not hold on as he was overtaken by Drosselmeyer. We almost had it. We told you this was a wide open, unpredictable Triple Crown. And we almost had 9 different horses representing the 9 slots in first, second, and third in all 3 races. But First Dude did catch third here in the Belmont.
Just barely.
Drosselmeyer.
Okay, let's look at where Drosselmeyer starts. Drosselmeyer is number 7 with the white silks, and Fly Down is number 5 with the green saddle towel. As they go into the first turn, Drosselmeyer with the orange saddle towel right there settles in right behind Fly Down. Fly Down's right there with the maroon and white silks. Now he's behind him going into the first turn. Somewhere down the middle of the race, Mike Smith, the jockey of Drosselmeyer, was able to slide by Fly Down. That was the winning move, because in the end, it was Fly Down trying to recapture the lead that Drosselmeyer got on him. Mike Smith right in here you see him, the 2 running as a pair right there. This is where Mike Smith lets Drosselmeyer just so easily slide by Fly Down and get the advantage on John Velasquez. Now as we go down the backside into the far turn, Drosselmeyer, identified, has already opened up a length of daylight. There's Fly Down right there behind him. But that's all the advantage he needed, because Fly Down had to wait till they straightened out. John Velasquez angles out, and he does make a great run at Drosselmeyer. But in the Belmont, going a mile and a half, no finish is going to be furious like you see in the Derby or the Preakness. Everything is very slow and very measured. So when you can get a slight advantage very easily through the middle portion of the race, it proves to be the winning margin, at least here.
Drosselmeyer actually overcame the pace and a 4-wide trip.
Yeah, he did, but he never had to check. There he is, Drosselmeyer with an orange saddle towel on. And for a horse that's a stamina horse that has no quick acceleration, the clear trip is much more important than saving ground.
Mike Smith, what a career he's had. And once again, the prices for the Belmont Stakes, 7, 5, 11. Drosselmeyer, if you had faith, $28 to win. Bill Mott, the winning trainer. Mike Smith, the winning jockey. And Windstar Farm, once again, a Triple Crown race win. And the winner's circle includes the connections of Drosselmeyer.
Now to the race. What a thrill, what a roll you guys are on. Billy and Mike join you for this one. You guys are on top of the world. Your coach just passed the test of a champion. Congratulations.
Governor, there were some people who thought maybe New Yorkers wouldn't turn out in as great a force as they did here today for the Belmont, but that was proved wrong.
Well, New York has a strong racing community, a lot of fans. We want to thank them all for coming out today. And we're doing all we can as racing, like everything else in the economy, is suffering, to make sure that this 142nd Belmont is a prelude to many years to come. So for today, we will present the trophy to Drosselmeyer and the whole Drosselmeyer family, Windstar Farms and Lisa Trout, and the jockey Mike Smith, the trainer Bill Mott, and everyone else associated with the horse. Congratulations from Belmont, the big and longest race, the toughest race, and you won it today, horse number 7.
Steve, if you want to pass that along here and quickly to...
Billy, can you grab him?
There you go. Bill Mott doing the honors there. Lisa, your husband is not here, and we were chatting a little bit before. Explain where he is and what he's going through right now.
Kenny is at a basketball tournament in Indiana with our 2 boys, Preston and Grant. So Savannah and I are here today with my mom and my sister and my good friend and my 2 nieces, and we are going to be on a trip to New York City after this. So we are missing Kenny, and we are missing Bill and Susan today.
That the Kasners, obviously, the other founding partners here of Windstar Farms, 2/3 of the Triple Crown. How do you characterize the journey of this season, Lisa?
You know, I don't know if there's any words for it, but we just feel so blessed that we just feel so grateful that God has done this for our Windstar team, for our families, for Doug and Elliot, for Bill Mott. Everyone really at our farm has been incredible. They're a great team, and we just love them.
Janine, if you can make your way over to Elliot, an integral part here for Windstar Farms.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate Vice President Elliot Walden and also President Doug Cawthon. And Doug's brother, Steve Cawthon, actually was aboard the last Triple Crown with her. That was affirmed in 1978. So Triple Crown is familiar to you and your family. And, of course, you guys won the Derby with Super Saver. But Drosselmeyer is a horse that you've always had very high hopes for. Why was he able to put it all together today?
Great training and a great ride. But, we've always believed in him. He's by Distorted Humor, who's our farm stallion. Elliot and Bill mapped out a great plan. They stuck to it. And Mike put a great ride on him. And, we are so blessed, and we thank God and everybody from Windstar, just everybody. It's awesome. We're so thankful and grateful to be here.
Why was Mike Smith an important piece of the puzzle for you guys in this race?
He gave him a beautiful, clear ride, and he had him in a great rhythm. And what a finish. I mean, he had a turn of foot at the end that was awesome. That's what you want to see at the end of a mile-and-a-half race. He came flying down there. It was wonderful.
And I just want to turn to Mike very quickly. When you've never ridden a horse like this before, what are you feeling? What are you looking for? What are you gauging by? And coming around that turn, tell us what was going through your mind.
Well, the whole game plan, I talked to Billy early in the morning, was to get him in that rhythm. And in doing that, at times, it's almost as if you close your eyes. I mean, you don't, but it's like you do. And you just want to get him into that rhythm. And you can almost hear him breathe. And they just all the way around there. And I had him doing it. And it was
That's a good sign,
yeah,
huh?
it was a great sign. It was perfect. So when I called on him, I mean, he was full of run.
Well, congratulations, as Mike Smith also gets over the hump and gets his first Belmont Stakes win. Joe?
In fact, Janine, Mike Smith completing a career Triple Crown now as he finally fills in that slot on the Belmont. He was 0 for 12 in previous Belmonts. We're going to come back. We're going to hear more from Jerry Bailey and Randy Moss, and we will put this Triple Crown season into perspective. The winner's circle presentation is that beautiful Tiffany trophy that dates back to the 1920s is handed to trainer Bill Mott and the connections of Drosselmeyer. The prices from the Belmont, Drosselmeyer over Fly Down and First Dude, that trifecta bringing back $766.
The only booze we heard all day from these New Yorkers was when Governor Patterson referred to Drosselmeyer as horse number 7.
Well, there's been a lot of booze when it comes to New York politics and the sport of horse racing. They're trying to figure things out. They just got a $25 million loan a week ago to stay afloat. A lot of money owed to NYRA here in this state. Saw the full order of finish there. The congratulations going around. Let's get final thoughts, and we'll start with Kenny and Hank.
Well, Joe, I think the lesson for everyone is sort of relearning an old lesson that you can't make too much out of recency. You can't look at the last race and say that's the tell-all of what's about to happen. Icebox was heavily bet for what it had done in one race, the Kentucky Derby. Drosselmeyer was disregarded for what it had not done in its past race, a disappointing second here in the Dwyer.
I think that it is not a coincidence that the horses that ran 1-2 in the Dwyer ran 1-2 in the Belmont over this same racetrack. The only two horses that had a race over this racetrack, only the result was reversed. And the horse who ran third, First Dude, had come in a week early and gotten extra work over this racetrack. Familiarity does not breed contempt.
What we're thankful for, Joe, is that there are races 12 and 13 to follow.
Get to those windows, Kenny. It has been a fun day here, just a beautiful day. You know, these Triple Crown events, say what you want, a Triple Crown on the line or who's here, who's not here. The stories and the way they unfold and the twists and turns as the day goes on, they are always so entertaining.
The great writer Red Smith used to say that horse racing was his favorite sport because of the wealth of story information, and he was always great at digging out all those stories. You can go to the backside and talk to the grooms. You can talk to the owners. Millionaires rub shoulders with the lowly grooms. It's a fantastic sport in that regard, definitely.
Jerry, what are you going to take away from this Triple Crown season? We were down there trackside at the Kentucky Derby in the mud. And then looking at Lucky takes the Preakness. Super Saver and looking at Lucky don't show up here. And Drosselmeyer, a horse that many thought coming into the season would be one of the ones we're talking about, he finally shows up and does this.
Well, it shows you the different ways and the different packages that thoroughbred racing and the excitement it brings comes in. Whether it's Secretariat winning the last eighth of a mile by 31 lengths, or in the last eighth of a mile having 4 horses with a chance to win, as we saw today. Thoroughbred racing is exciting in so many different packages.
Drosselmeyer pays $28 over Fly Down and First Dude here on Long Island. ABC new this summer, escape the ordinary, experience the temptation, discover the perfect place to live. ABC's The Gates. The series premieres Sunday, June 20th, part of ABC's new summer season. Mike Smith, Windstar Farm Silks, and Billy Mott on a day when all the racing fans and those with the high fashion and the cigar chompers with the form came out to see history made. Huge crowd at the Belmont Stakes on a sun-kissed day. And at the end, it was Drosselmeyer charging home to go into the history books and passing the test of the champion. Thanks for being with us. I'm Joe Tessitore. Enjoy the rest of your evening.